again and welcome back to the show. As always, this is Cup of Joe Canada and I'm your host Jason McNeil. Now today on the show I want to discuss the Pusha T album cover. Now you may be familiar with this. If you're into hip hop, you're definitely familiar with it. If you're into pop culture, you probably are familiar with it. If you're not really into music or any of the hip hop or any of the pop stuff, you probably maybe haven't heard anything about it. But anyway, so here's the controversy. The album cover actually features a picture of Whitney Houston's bathroom on the night that she died, okay? Now this was a picture that has been in, like people had seen it previously, I guess it was in the media when she had passed away. So it's controversial because this is a very personal thing, and so the family is, rightfully upset or hurt, or, they feel a way about it, and I can understand why. Myself, at first, I was shocked. Now the story goes that Pusha T had the album ready, and it had an album cover, and Kanye West said this album cover isn't strong enough, it doesn't represent the project enough, I have another idea. And Kanye West paid reportedly $85,000 of his own money to get licensed, licensing for this photo to use it for the album cover. So the album comes out, this is the cover, and the controversy follows. Now, at first I was also shocked. I was like, this seems like you're doing something for publicity purposes, you just want to make a few extra bucks, it seems like it's in poor taste. But then in context, I thought a little more about it, and I think there's a bigger thing here. And I think the first thing that made me sort of look into the context was Kanye West and his recent sort of outbursts and his talks about being addicted to opioids and popping pills and getting over that and all of that stuff. As a celebrity, as a beloved person, in music. Second thing that made me sort of second guess myself was I was watching a show called Everyday Struggle, and one of the hosts' name is Wayno. And Wayno was commenting that although this is very controversial and we're talking about it and whatever, it wouldn't be controversial if the front of the album was like a staircase in the hood and it looked dirty and this is where people do drugs and die. And people would assume that and no one would really bat an eye, and it's not controversial. And that really got me thinking, because I think that is the point of the cover. And what I mean by that is, I think it's a perception issue, right? Like we look at things like addiction as if it's something for undesirable people. It's something for poor people, people whose lives are on the wrong track and they have these addiction problems, and people who die of overdoses, the people that we don't know and we're never gonna hear about. When in fact we know that's not true, right? People we know do have overdoses. People that are famous and we think have seemingly everything going for them, they overdose. They have drug addiction problems. And they're rich, they're famous. So it's not an issue of, oh look, my life is going bad, I'm addicted to drugs. Sometimes your life seems to be going very well and you're addicted to drugs. Sometimes you're beloved and people are celebrating your work and celebrating what you're doing, but you have a huge problem behind the scenes that everyone's ignoring. And I'd also argue that it seems they only stop ignoring it when you stop making money. So to me, putting the picture on the cover of the album is a way to actually sort of shift the perception and say, look, it's a pop culture reference. Everyone knows what we're looking at and everyone feels uncomfortable about it, right? Because we all, well not, I can't say all, but many people loved Whitney Houston. Many people recognized that she was supremely talented as a singer and she had, infinite potential and everything else. And, we would say she was taken from us too soon. Well, she overdosed on drugs in front of our eyes, and, we can't really say we were completely blind to the fact she was having struggles and issues and problems. And that's very uncomfortable, but it's something I think that we need to have the conversation about. And I suspect that that was the point when Kanye West said to Pusha T, you should put this on your album cover. That's how I feel about it. I'd love to know what you guys think. Again, I do understand why some people would be offended, and I fully understand why it might make the family feel a certain way and very emotional. It's a very personal issue. But that's me, Cup of Joe Canada. You can hit me on the Twitter @CupofJoeCanada, or you can check out the website, www.cupofjoecanada.com.